Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you're waiting for some magic moment to come along, if you think that one day you're just going to wake up and everything's going to be different, let me stop you right there. That's not how it works. Change doesn't happen overnight. But if you want to change your life, there's one thing I need you to understand: consistency. Day after day, you got to keep at it. You got to keep pushing, keep working. Every single day you show up, you're making progress. And let me be clear, progress doesn't always look like you think it does. Sometimes it's small steps. Sometimes it's those little victories that nobody else sees. But those victories, they add up. They matter. Consistency is one of the most underestimated yet powerful tools in the pursuit of success. When we think about achievement, we often envision big moments, the breakthroughs, the celebrations, the victories. What we often overlook is that these big moments are built on a foundation of daily, consistent effort. Consistency is the bedrock that holds everything together, the invisible force that propels you forward even when you can't see the results immediately. It's not the flashy moments that define success. It's the steady grind, the small actions repeated over time that shape our destiny. Life doesn't change in a single moment. It changes when you commit to a process, when you make the decision to show up every day, regardless of how you feel. And here's the thing, it's never about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about putting in the work, even when the results aren't visible. There are days when you will feel discouraged, when the effort doesn't seem worth it, when progress feels slow, but that's when consistency becomes your greatest ally. The key is to keep going, to stay true to the process, even when it's hard, even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. The magic of consistency is that over time, it compounds. You may not notice it at first, but as the days go by, as you continue to show up and put in the work, you start to see the results. Slowly but surely, the efforts you've put in begin to pay off, and all those small actions you took lead to the bigger outcomes you desire. Think about anything great that has ever been achieved. Behind every accomplishment, whether in sports, business, or personal development, there was an unwavering commitment to consistency. Take athletes, for example. The greatest champions didn't win because they were lucky or because they had one big magical moment. No, they won because they trained every single day. They woke up early, they worked through the pain, they pushed through the fatigue. Their success didn't come from one huge effort. It came from countless small decisions made over and over again. They didn't stop just because they couldn't see the finish line in the distance. They understood that it was the consistency of their daily efforts that would ultimately carry them to victory. The same principle applies to any goal in life. Whether you want to write a book, learn a new skill, or build a successful career, the process is the same. You have to show up day in and day out. The results may take time, but if you stay consistent, you will improve. You will get better. The consistency of your efforts will push you forward even when it feels like nothing is changing. One of the most significant aspects of consistency is its ability to build momentum. Once you've done something for long enough, it becomes a part of you. You don't have to think about it anymore. It becomes second nature. The hardest part is always starting, getting through that initial phase when you're not seeing immediate rewards. But if you can push through that early stage, consistency creates its own momentum. You begin to build habits that propel you forward even on days when your motivation is low. Over time, it becomes less about motivation and more about discipline. You become someone who shows up every day, who does the work regardless of how they feel. And when that happens, you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish. Another powerful aspect of consistency is its ability to build trust, both with yourself and with others. When you make a commitment to something and stick to it, you start to develop a sense of pride in your work ethic. You trust yourself more because you know you can depend on yourself to do what you say you're going to do. And this sense of self-reliance, it changes how you approach challenges. Instead of being intimidated by obstacles, you face them with confidence, knowing that you can overcome them because you've done the work consistently before. Others also begin to trust you more. They see that you are someone who follows through, someone who can be relied upon to get things done. This trust, built over time, opens doors and creates opportunities you might not have had access to otherwise. The beauty of consistency is that it's not about talent, luck, or external circumstances. It's about showing up. It's about doing the work, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment. It's about staying the course, even when things aren't going your way, even when the odds are stacked against you. Consistency doesn't require extraordinary talent or circumstances. It just requires you to stay committed, to keep putting the work day after day. That's how you win. That's how you change your life. And perhaps the most powerful thing about consistency is its ability to shape your character. When you commit to something, when you decide that you are going to show up every single day, you are not just working toward a goal. You are building your character. You are developing qualities like perseverance, patience, and resilience. You are becoming someone who doesn't quit, who doesn't give up at the first sign of difficulty. And that, my friends, is the greatest reward of all. When you have the character to keep going, to stay consistent in the face of adversity, there is nothing you cannot achieve. So if you want to change your life, if you want to see real progress, start by committing to consistency. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter how far you have to go. What matters is that you take that first step and commit to showing up every day. The results will come. Trust the process, trust the journey, and know that with every small action you take, you are building the life you've always wanted. The power of consistency is real, and it's yours for the taking. Taking ownership is one of the most powerful and transformative choices you can make in life. It means accepting full responsibility for your actions, your decisions, and your circumstances. Ownership isn't about blame or guilt. It's about empowerment. It's about stepping up and taking charge of your life, acknowledging that you are the one in control, regardless of external factors. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for things to happen and you start making them happen. So often we find ourselves caught up in a cycle of blaming others or our circumstances for where we are in life. We point fingers at our upbringing, the people around us, our jobs, the economy, or even bad luck. We look at life as something that happens to us instead of something we can actively shape. But that mindset will keep you stuck. It will keep you powerless. The moment you take ownership, you break free from that cycle. You stop giving away your power to things outside your control, and instead you start using what you can control, the way you think, the way you act, and the choices you make. This shift is the first step in turning your life around. Taking ownership means acknowledging that no matter how difficult or unfair life may seem at times, you are still responsible for how you respond to it. You're responsible for how you react to challenges, how you manage adversity, and how you carry yourself in the face of setbacks. It's easy to feel like a victim when things go wrong. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life is against you, that you have no say in what happens to you. But that mindset only keeps you stuck. When you take ownership, you acknowledge that you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You have the power to change the narrative, to take action, and to choose a different path. There's incredible power in taking full responsibility for your life. The moment you do, you stop waiting for external circumstances to change. You stop relying on others to make things better for you. You stop blaming and start doing. Taking ownership means you embrace the idea that your life is a result of your own choices. Yes, life is full of challenges. And yes, sometimes things happen beyond our control. But in every situation, we still have a choice. We can choose how we show up, how we engage, and how we move forward. By taking ownership of our actions and attitudes, we reclaim our power to shape our own future. The act of taking ownership also means letting go of the idea of perfection. Too often we hold ourselves back from moving forward because we're afraid of making mistakes or failing. We tell ourselves that we're not ready, that we don't have what it takes, or that we'll never get it right. But the truth is, success is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and continuing to move forward. Learning from it and continuing to move forward. Taking ownership means accepting that mistakes are a part of the journey. When you own your mistakes, you learn from them instead of letting them define you. You take the lessons, adjust, and keep going. That's how growth happens. That's how success is built. Taking ownership also means being honest with yourself. It means confronting your fears, your weaknesses, and your limitations. It's easy to make excuses, to convince ourselves that it's not our fault, that things are out of our hands, but deep down we know the truth. We know when we've avoided responsibility, when we've taken the easy way out, or when we've let fear dictate our actions. Ownership demands that you be real with yourself. It requires you to take a hard look at where you are, where you want to be, and what it's going to take to get there. It requires you to face your own shortcomings, admit your mistakes, and do the work to become better. When you take ownership, you also become more resilient. Life will throw obstacles in your way. There's no way around that. But when you own your journey, you develop the strength to face those obstacles head on. You stop letting setbacks define you. You stop letting fear or failure dictate your next move. Instead, you use every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Taking ownership is about refusing to let life's difficulties keep you down. Number 10, courage is a will to participate. You become more attentive to safety, progress, and mistakes. It's about standing up, dusting yourself off, and moving forward with determination and purpose. With ownership comes the courage to take risk, to put yourself out there, and to go after what you want in life. You stop playing small. You stop waiting for permission. You become the creator of your own destiny. There's also an element of empowerment in taking ownership. When you accept full responsibility for your life, you stop giving away your power. You stop depending on others to validate you or make decisions for you. You become the captain of your own ship. You realize that your choices shape your reality. That's incredibly empowering. It's not easy, and it's not always comfortable, but when you take ownership, you step into your full potential. So you realize that the life you want isn't out of reach. It's within your grasp, waiting for you to claim it. Taking ownership doesn't mean you'll never face challenges, and it doesn't mean you'll never encounter adversity. It means that, regardless of what happens, you'll continue to move forward with conviction. It means you'll keep taking action, keep learning, and keep growing. It means you'll be the one who takes responsibility for your successes and your failures. And in doing so, you'll create a life that is truly your own. When you take ownership of your life, you step into your personal power. You stop being a passive observer and start being an active participant. You realize that you are the one who holds the key to your future. It's a choice, one that takes courage, discipline, and a willingness to face the truth about yourself. But once you make the decision to take ownership, your life will never be the same. You'll find strength in adversity, purpose in every action, and empowerment in the belief that you can create the life you desire. So take ownership, because the life you want starts with you. A mindset shift is one of the most powerful transformations you can make in your life. It's not about external circumstances changing, but about how you choose to view and approach the world. Your mindset is the lens through which you perceive everything around you, the challenges, the opportunities, the people, and, most importantly, yourself. It's the internal filter that influences every thought, decision, and action you take. When you shift your mindset, you change not just how you see the world, but how the world responds to you. The first thing to understand about a mindset shift is that it's a choice. It's not something that happens to you, but something that you can actively decide to pursue. Too often, people wait for circumstances to improve before they change their perspective. They believe that once their external world becomes easier or more favorable, then they can shift how they think. But that's not how it works. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Your mindset is what shapes your reality, not the other way around. The world is going to throw challenges your way no matter what. But if you approach those challenges with the right mindset, you'll not only survive them, you'll thrive because of them. A mindset shift begins with the realization that you are not a victim of your circumstances. It's easy to slip into a victim mentality, especially when things aren't going the way you want. When life gets tough, it's tempting to believe that you have no control over what happens to you. But that's an illusion. You always have the power to choose how you respond to what happens around you. A mindset shift means you stop seeing yourself as a passive participant and start recognizing that you are the one who decides how you engage with life. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by challenges, you start seeing them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to evolve. This shift in perception is what separates those who stay stuck from those who keep moving forward no matter what. A big part of this mindset shift is understanding the power of thoughts. Our thoughts are not just fleeting things that don't matter. They are the driving force behind everything we do. The way you think influences the way you act, and the way you act shapes the reality you experience. So if you think you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough, guess what? Those thoughts will guide your behavior and hold you back. But if you shift your mindset to believe that you are capable, that you have the strength to overcome anything, and that challenges are simply stepping stones, you'll start making decisions that reflect those beliefs. The shift is in recognizing that your thoughts are not fixed. They are malleable. You can choose to think thoughts that empower you. Another critical aspect of a mindset shift is embracing a growth mentality. Many people operate with a fixed mindset, believing that their abilities and intelligence are static, that they have a certain level of potential that can't be changed. This kind of thinking keeps you stuck in a box. When you believe you can't grow, you stop trying. You give up easily. Because why bother trying if you're not going to get any better? But a growth mindset opens up endless possibilities. When you shift to a growth mindset, you understand that your abilities aren't fixed. They can be developed with effort, practice, and learning. Challenges become opportunities to grow, and setbacks become lessons in resilience. People with a growth mindset see failure as feedback, not as a reflection of their worth, but as a valuable experience that helps them improve. The moment you adopt a growth mindset, you unlock your potential to achieve things you never thought possible. A mindset shift also means embracing the power of belief. You may have heard the saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. This speaks to the incredible power of belief in shaping your life. If you believe you are capable of achieving your goals, you will act in ways that align with that belief. You'll take risks, you'll push through the tough times, and you'll keep going even when things get difficult. But if you don't believe in yourself, you will limit your potential. The way you think about yourself has a profound impact on your life. A mindset shift means making a conscious choice to believe in your own abilities, to trust that you have what it takes, and to take action based on that belief. It's about telling yourself, I am worthy of success, and I am capable of reaching my goals. The mindset shift is also about letting go of the fear of failure. So many people avoid pursuing their dreams or taking chances because they fear failure. They're scared of making mistakes or falling short of their goals. But the truth is, failure is an essential part of success. Every great achievement in history was preceded by multiple failures. Failure is not the end, it's simply a step in the process of learning and growth. When you shift your mindset, you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as a teacher. You begin to see failure not as something to avoid, but as something to learn from. This shift allows you to take more risks, push yourself further, and ultimately achieve more because you're no longer paralyzed by the fear of getting it wrong. Lastly, a mindset shift involves gratitude. When life isn't going the way you want, it's easy to focus on everything that's going wrong. But shifting your mindset to one of gratitude allows you to see the good in every situation, even when it's hard. Gratitude changes your perspective. It forces you to focus on what you do have instead of what you lack. This simple shift in thinking can radically change how you feel about your life. When you begin to appreciate the small victories, the lessons learned through adversity, and the opportunities you've been given, you open yourself up to more of the good things in life. The truth is, everything in life starts with the way you think. Your mindset determines how you perceive the world and how you engage with it. If you want to change your life, you first have to change your mindset. You have to be willing to see the world through a different lens. One where challenges are opportunities, where growth is possible, and where belief in yourself is the foundation of everything you do. The moment you shift your mindset is the moment you begin to see the world differently, and that's when your life starts to change for the better. Fear is a powerful emotion, one that can paralyze, limit, and hold you back from reaching your true potential. It's something every single one of us experiences. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, or fear of not being good enough. But what most people don't realize is that fear is not something to be avoided or defeated. In fact, fear can be a tool, a sign, and a force for growth if you learn how to face it head on. Overcoming fear doesn't mean you stop feeling afraid. It means you take action despite that fear. It's the willingness to move forward, to push past the doubts and insecurities, and to not let fear dictate your actions. At its core, fear is a survival mechanism. It's an emotional response designed to protect you from danger, to keep you safe. In ancient times, it might have been triggered by a threat to your physical well-being, like an animal in the wild or a dangerous environment. But in today's world, fear is often triggered by situations that aren't life-threatening, yet our bodies react in the same way. It could be the fear of speaking in public, fear of taking risks, fear of rejection, or even the fear of failure. While these things may not pose a physical threat, our brains still react with the same intensity. And that's why overcoming fear can be such a challenge. We're wired to avoid discomfort, and fear often represents discomfort. But to grow, to succeed, and to live fully, we have to learn how to navigate that discomfort instead of letting it stop us. One of the most significant steps in overcoming fear is recognizing that fear is often irrational. Many times, the things we fear are not as dangerous or catastrophic as our minds make them out to be. We fear failure, but in reality, failure is often just a lesson or a stepping stone on the way to success. We fear rejection, but rejection doesn't define our worth or determine our future. We fear the unknown, but uncertainty is simply a part of life. The more you learn to challenge the stories fear tells you, the less power it has over you. Fear thrives in the unknown, but when you face your fears, when you expose them for what they really are, you take away their strength. you begin to see that many of the things we fear are just mental constructs shaped by our thoughts and insecurities. When you realize that, you free yourself from their grip. To overcome fear, you also have to be willing to accept the possibility of failure. Many people avoid taking risks or trying new things because they are afraid of failing. But failure is not the end, it's part of the process. Every success story, every great achievement is built on a foundation of mistakes and failures. It's the people who are willing to fail and try again, who are willing to learn from their mistakes, that ultimately succeed. Fear of failure keeps you stuck in the comfort zone, where nothing changes, where nothing grows. But when you embrace failure as part of the journey, you free yourself from the hold fear has on you. You begin to take risks, step out of your comfort zone, and grow in ways you never imagined. Failure is not something to fear, it's something to learn from, to use as a tool for personal growth. Another key to overcoming fear is to take small, consistent actions. Fear often grows larger when it's left unchecked, when it's allowed to linger in your mind without being confronted. The more you avoid something, the more fear has a chance to build. But when you take action, even small action, you chip away at that fear. Each step you take, no matter how small, reinforces the idea that you can handle whatever comes your way. It builds confidence and momentum. And over time, you'll find that what once seemed terrifying is now something you can face with courage. Action is the antidote to fear. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the idea of something big or unknown, but when you break it down into manageable steps, the fear diminishes. The more you do, the less power fear has. Learning to reframe your thoughts is also crucial in overcoming fear. Fear is often driven by negative thinking, the what-ifs, the worst-case scenarios, the imagined disasters. These thoughts can spiral, getting more exaggerated and more paralyzing the longer they go unchecked. The key is to reframe those thoughts, to challenge them, and to focus on the possibilities instead of the limitations. Instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed? Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Reframing allows you to take control of your thoughts and shift your focus from fear to opportunity. When you start focusing on what's possible instead of what's not, you open yourself up to new ways of thinking and acting. It's also important to understand that fear doesn't completely go away. Even the most successful, confident individuals experience fear. They just don't let it stop them. Fear is part of the human experience, and it's not something you can simply eliminate. What matters is how you respond to it. The more you face your fears and push through them, the more resilient you become. You learn that fear doesn't have to hold you back. It becomes a signal that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone, that you're growing, and that you're on the path to something greater. Lastly, surrounding yourself with support can be an essential part of overcoming fear. Fear can often feel isolating, like you're the only one struggling or facing challenges. But the truth is, everyone experiences fear in some form. By sharing your fears with others, by seeking advice, encouragement, and mentorship, you realize that you're not alone. Support from others can help you see that fear is something we all face. And together, we can work through it. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or a coach, having someone in your corner can make all the difference in overcoming the paralyzing effects of fear. Overcoming fear doesn't mean you stop being afraid. It means you don't let fear control you. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to stop you from achieving your dreams or becoming the person you want to be. When you face fear, when you take action in spite of it, you reclaim your power. You learn that fear is not something to avoid, but something to embrace as part of the journey. And every time you overcome it, you build more confidence, more courage, and more resilience. until fear no longer has the power to stop you.